Welcome into Extra Time. Little golf theme to the first question today. Still can't believe Molinari blew it.
I would talk about golf all Extra Time.
He didn't blow it.
Well, he did. Well, he didn't help himself, did he? Hitting it in the water.
That was a good compromise, wasn't it?
Hitting in the water is a subject I'm very familiar with, and that's what he did. So, talking of what happened yesterday, which down-and-out footballer would you most like to see make a Tiger Woods-style comeback?
Balotelli.
There you go. Perfect
Balotelli.
Perfect
I mean,
answer. Is he down and out enough, though? I mean, he's still...
Oh, listen, he's about as far away from the top of the tree. Really?
I might say he's still... I mean, it's not the top of the tree, but it's still a decent club.
Oh, he's what, halfway up the tree then? Or he's halfway down, depending on what you want. But no, he'd be good. I used to love watching Balotelli, and I used to laugh every time he took a penalty. He's just entertaining. Everything about him.
Yeah.
On the field was entertaining.
That's a really good call, I got to say.
Yeah.
No, because I'm struggling. You get anybody? Help me out. Buy me some time.
Joey Barton, he's pretty down and out at the moment, isn't he? He's in a bit of trouble. I think he's beyond the comeback, though, at this stage, isn't he? That's the trouble. It doesn't really happen with footballers the same way, does it? Because if you're out, you're out. You never make... Who? Oh, Rafael Morris?
I said, no, what a comeback. Brazilian, centre forward, started at Milan.
Pato.
What a return. What a return that would be.
Yeah. Where did he go, by the way?
Pato.
Yeah.
That would be
Alvaro Morata.
He's on his way down. He's not quite...
Oh, he's not down,
He's not quite...
Yeah.
All right.
Tevez. Guess he's still playing, isn't he? But it just doesn't
he's finishing his career, isn't he? He went to China, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's not...
All right. Craig Anderson says, if either of you guys could pick a current player to play with in your most successful teams, thinking Stevie with Liverpool, Craig with Celtic, who would you pick?
One player. Messi.
Yeah.
Yep. I
know you've said Van Dijk at times when you've been asked similar questions. What defender would you have liked to play with?
Well, to be fair, you can't. I like Van Dijk, but he's not as good as Messi.
No. I mean, Messi's an easy answer to that.
Yeah, I mean...
Put your feet up.
I'm just thinking how many goals Henrik Larsson would have scored on top of the gazillions he did score if he had Lionel Messi playing behind him.
Yeah.
Rather than me and a few other doubles.
Yeah.
Try to clip the ball over the top from.
So who would have been edged out of those teams to make way for Messi? Who would have been on the bench in your best teams?
Well, we'd have to change the way we played. We'd have to go on with three up front.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't shove Rossi or Kenny Dalglish out the road.
Be tough, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would be a little harsh on either of the two of them, wouldn't it? Well, you'd change the way you played.
Yeah.
You'd have some sort of a 4-3-2-1 maybe, something like that. So then it'd be one of your midfielders who would have to drop out.
You might have, particularly in his Liverpool team, you'd have to have a conversation about we're just resting you this week.
Right.
Yeah.
To get the wee man again.
Well, the problem is you couldn't back then. Nobody wanted to be rested. Did they?
No. Plus, you only had one sub.
If he said to you, "I'm going to rest you," but hold on, no, you're not. You're getting rid of me.
You dropped me.
You're dropping me.
There was no squad rotation.
No.
You only had one sub for a long time you were playing.
No.
Messi.
Yes.
Do you know what used to be? Do you know what used to be the worst ever? Was getting substituted during a game.
Right. If you were the only one
the walk
to
off,
get the hook.
The walk off felt embarrassing. Getting the hook. I remember I got the hook when I played for Doncaster Rovers, by the way.
Right.
No way.
No, I got the hook. Ian Snodden and his brother were the manager at the time. Now, I wasn't having my finest game, I will admit, but still. So substituted in a non-league game, I was like,
Snod's hooked you?
Aye.
Sorry, like, you must have said something on the way off.
No, the whole way I'm going, right, take it the right way. Just, hey, who do you think you are? Who do you think you're, big Bertie Spuds, or, you're just out, sit on the bench. I mean, I was seething, but you got to...
When Glenn Hoddle was player manager at Chelsea, before he went on to take the England job, he was player manager at the end of his career. Well, he was at the end of his career. And he went through a patch of bringing himself on.
I think I remember him doing that.
Usually around 80 minutes when everybody else was knackered, to do a bit of his what Glenn did.
Yep.
And it went through a patch. It was always me. It was coming off from. Back in the day, we didn't. Before the electronic numbers were going up, they had like numbers that come out. I don't know.
But just a board.
A board.
Yeah.
Just a board with a number
And
on
as I was coming off, I didn't quite get his. Don't say anything, let it go. And I said to him, as he was coming on, I said, "Is that the only bleep number you've got in that bag?"
Meaning your number or his number?
No, mine. Number 24. He says, "Is that the only number?" I swore. And he didn't take it too well.
No.
I couldn't help myself.
Right.
Because it would happen in regular.
It wasn't Glenn that then shipped you off to Celtic, was it? Oh no, that was rude.
No, it was rude. No, Glenn got the England
It was
job.
very rude, I thought.
Well, he didn't.
Very rude.
Very rude.
Hold on.
Maybe that's not quite the right phrase.
He didn't
but-
ship me off to Celtic. It was called a transfer.
Right. Yes, talking of transfers, thank you for the segue. James says this: if Manchester United play in the Europa League next season, distinct possibility, will Pogba and De Gea leave for Real Madrid this summer to avoid the obvious time-consuming rebuild the club requires? Is that what it's going to come down to, Man United making the Champions League or Europa League? With the
I
Pogba
don't think
stays
they're
or
going
goes?
anywhere. Pogba's going nowhere.
No.
Manchester United cannot afford to be losing the best players. They need to try and add to the good players they have. Now, regardless of whether you think Pogba's had a great season or an average season, he's one of their best players. And if they want to start, number one, being comfortably in the top four and comfortably playing Champions League every year, you can't get rid of people like Pogba. Right. De Gea can't go to Real Madrid.
How many goalies do they want?
Well, exactly. So
The issue with De Gea, though, is money, because, and I'm not saying he's out for the money, but he's out to look after himself, and United have given themselves a big problem by shelling out huge, vast amounts of salary on Alexis Sanchez, who's not playing. You may say, well, what's that got to do with it? Well, the top players at the club then go in for the new contract and say, I want parity with him. Why should I, as the Spanish number one and Man United number one of the best goalkeepers in the world, why should I be paid less than a guy who can't even cut the mustard at this club?
Right.
And so that's the issue for Man United, particularly with De Gea.
And with Man United as well, you've actually got to think about this and say, well, you know, do we make a stance and not cave into De Gea's demands? Knowing that if you do, you better remember, the reason you're even fighting for top four, the reason you've been in top four previous years is because of De Gea. So do you try and be stubborn and lose the money from the Champions League, or do you just pay him a good amount? If I'm Man United, I do not. Do you see this? Do you remember the save he made at the weekend?
Oh yeah.
I mean, seriously.
No, he's still
If I'm Man United,
still right up there with the best, isn't he?
hey, I pay up.
Yeah.
So Solskjaer can't afford, as Stevie said, to lose his best players.
No.
He's building, not
Dismantling, yeah.
taking it apart.
We've saved the really meaty issue, and I mean meaty issue, for the last question today from Birdie, and it's addressed to Stevie, but we'll all weigh on it.
No, well, yeah, he's addressed to Stevie.
Stevie, steak or fish and chips? It's
I
quite
have
as
to
simple
tell
as
you,
that.
I'd have to say steak and chips.
I don't know if that's the option. Although you would assume that steak would come with some sort of potato. Right.
You cannot get fish and chips the way they used to be made when I was a kid.
Right.
It's not the same.
You're talking out of the bag,
I'm talking out of the bag, the way it's cooked, the whole shebang. It's not made the same.
Right.
It doesn't taste the same. So I'm going with steak and chips with a nice sauce with it.
Yeah.
Well done, of course.
You can't have steak and chips.
Aye.
I don't mean over fish and chips, but I mean you just can't have.
Well, that's the question.
All right.
Steak and chips.
So
fish
if you
and
were
chips.
going out, would you have chips? Well, for Americans, it's fries.
Right.
For everybody else that's watching this, it's
Yeah.
chips. Would you have chips with your steak if you were out?
If I was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even. How can you have chips with your steak?
Why wouldn't you have
Well,
chips
in
with
France
steak?
they do. It's the old steak frite, isn't it? I mean, that's what they.
Use chips with everything.
Now I'll
That's
tell you.
the-
I'll tell you what.
Maybe have some
There
mashed
actually
potato
could
or
be-
some
there
something
actually-
nice with a steak. A
There
nice
actually
steak.
could be something that swings this, you know.
Shepherd's pie.
No. If it's homemade,
Yeah. Fish and chips takes it.
Well, it's proper chips. We make
the big chunky. You chop the potatoes up,
proper
put them in
homemade
the fryer.
proper homemade chips that you make on your own.
Gets the oil.
Yeah.
Right. Well, not him. His other half gets. That's why
Somebody applies the oil.
This is why this man looks as healthy as he does, because everything in that house is cooked with bundles and bundles of oil.
It's supposed to stuff.
It's cholesterol city at his house. You can, as soon as you walk in, it hits you.
Yeah.
If you're going to eat, you may as well enjoy it.
Very fair comment indeed.
Right.
Very fair comment. You might as well.
Tell you what, I don't want that fish and chips. I love that lettuce and those tomatoes because they look lovely.
Right.
Right.
And I wonder, is there a different answer to this question depending on whether we're in the US or the UK as well?
I don't eat chips much.
No, I said at the start,
In
they
the
don't
UK,
make
fish and
they don't
chips
make fish and chips
they don't
the
make
same
it
way.
the same way here.
No.
No,
They still don't.
The chip shops.
Yeah.
Go down the chip shop.
Oh, the chippies in Troon were Italians.
Right.
What were they in common? Back when I was a kid, all the chip shops were owned by Italians.
They had the same.
Yeah. Yeah, like over here, I'd say steak by a country mile. Fish and chips.
But it's like a bit of a thing back in, or it wasn't, it's like a bit of a thing for, particularly for our parents, is they go to the chip shop the same day every week. Mm-hmm. It's either like my mum and dad, it was a Friday night or a Saturday night, I can't remember. But that was
Tuesday was that.
fish and chip shop night.
Yeah. And did you have chippies that opened up like 4 or 5 different times a day? Their opening times were like 11:30 to 1, and then 3 to 4:30, and then 5:30 to 6.
I think that was just to confuse you.
It was like all the different times you could have.
Hey, here he's
it was
coming.
like your lunch, your
coming.
tea,
Shut the
your
shop.
supper. It opened up 5 different times, the chip.
I have no idea.
No?
No idea.
I was very used to those opening hours.
Yeah, it's just different. Different food. It's not the healthiest.
Yeah.
That's what he likes.
I know they were open.
Pickled onion in with the chips.
I know they were open after the pub shut. I know that much.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks, Birdie, for taking us down culinary memory lane with that one. Lovely stuff. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. We've lots to tuck into from the Champions League, I do believe, on the next edition of the show. We will see you then.